Got it. Leroy Mckenzie Jr. Hey, everybody, this is Kendell Lenice, and welcome to MT Jam. MT Jam, more than just a movie, where we break down classic Black films the way that Leroy and I know how, with our personal styles, coaching, adding everyday life to some of the scenes in the movie. Now, this is breakdown of classic Black films. So it's a disclaimer right now. If you have not seen these movies in 20, 30, 40, 50 years, shame on you and shame on your parents, because this is a spoiler alert. We are going to talk about the movies. Now, the way we do it, once again, if this is your first time watching, is we apply it to everyday life. We give examples, and then we always bring it back to the movie. All right, so this is the last episode of Eddie Murphy month. That's right, the month of September we dedicated to Mr. Eddie Murphy. I can't do his laugh. Eddie Murphy. But this is the thing. Eddie Murphy is so dope and such a legend. We had already done Boomerang. We did Coming to America already. So we got a little extra, huh?
And here's the thing: we haven't even touched the surface of the movies that he's done.
We have not. So this month we did Norbit. We did his role as Jimmy. Jimmy Got Soul and Dreamgirls. We did Harlem Nights. We did Trading Places. And now we are doing Delirious and Raw. That's how we are ending it. We are ending it Delirious and Raw, because those were his comedy movies. And if they ain't classics, I don't know what are. Like, ask some of these comedians right now. Ask the people that are in our generation. We're 50 something. Ask our generation what were the dopest comedy movies. And they are going to say, your favorite comedian, matter of fact, is going to say Delirious or Raw. Now, that's a toss-up. Which one is better, Delirious or Raw? So let's talk about Delirious. Delirious came out August 17th, 1983. So I was in the 8th grade, I think. The budget was $8 million, and it made 50.5 mil. And I saw that in I just want to see something, because that was the same one of them was Raw. I want to make sure I got it right,
because that was the number for Raw as well. So I don't know if that was,
and it was, and when I looked that up, it was the same thing. And that's why I was like, wait a minute, did both of them make the same amount of money? Because it said the same thing.
They just didn't have it. I'm thinking,
and they added, right, because it says the same exact thing, right? Yeah. Well,
I think they just,
and then Raw came out December 18th, 1987. It says the same budget, and it made 50 million. So even if those numbers are off a little bit, it made $50 million. That I believe, and we're not even talking Leroy. Well, let me introduce you. Welcome, my co-host, Leroy Mckenzie Jr. Let's get down to
it. What's up, good people? How you feeling, lady?
I am feeling all right. It's been a busy day, and it ain't stopping. I had an appointment. I was working all day. Then I had an appointment right before this from 5 to 6. Then I had 5, and then I had to get home, and then just got home just enough time so I ain't even eat yet. And then after this, I got a meeting. So good grief, I'm gonna be eating at midnight. But how was your day?
It was actually great. It was actually good. I can't.
It was actually great. I'm loving that. But so think about Raw and Delirious, right? And I want to play some clips. So if you're watching, if you're sensitive to cuss words, or if you're sensitive to certain things, then get ready and don't watch it. Dang, this is my first video. I'm gonna have to put a disclaimer on. Just in case, not for the children, even though the children know more cuss words than us. For the children.
Cheer in the bed.
But they know more cuss words than us.
I know, right?
But I wanted to start off, y'all know that every episode I do trivia. But I want to start off. So we're going to talk about Delirious the first half, and then we're going to talk about Raw the second half. But I wanted to give some trivia in the beginning. So in this 70-minute stand-up comedy film, the word F-U-C-K is used 230 times.
Oh,
in the 70 minutes, the F-bomb was thrown 230 times in 70 minutes. All right, so then another form of trivia for Eddie Murphy's Delirious. Many people enjoyed counting the number of times Richard Pryor said F-U-C-K before him. All right, so Jordan Peele, who did Get Out, has stated multiple times that Eddie Murphy's joke about the horror films was his inspiration for the movie Get Out in 2017. So Eddie inspired Get Out. How about that? All right, so decades after the release of the stand-up on home video, Eddie Murphy admits his regrets for some jokes. It may have seemed homophobic, and he apologized for them. Because in 1983, it wasn't no such thing as homophobic. People was going there, even throwing the F word, about gay people or whatever. There was no censor or sensitivity behind that back in the day. You said what you wanted. So I'm sure a lot of them apologized for some of them or not. All right, and some more trivia. Eddie Murphy's stand-up routine, which led to Delirious, was always cutting edge. He cites, check this out, Leroy, he cites Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, and Red Fox for his main influences. So think about that. We talked about Harlem Nights. And clearly, remember he said that he wanted to always work with his idols. So to think back and to look back, is that he used them as his muse, and then he gets a chance to not only star in a film with him, but direct the film. So let's just talk about that for a moment, and I'm gonna do some more trivia. So when you think about Delirious, what is your favorite line?
My favorite line is gotta be, I got some ice cream, and you can have none.
Is that Delirious or Raw? I'm getting them mixed up. That's Delirious.
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought that was Delirious.
And I'm thinking that was Raw. I don't know. Let's find out. You might be right.
Okay, which one was Mama's? Because because he goes in Delirious. He goes, "You want to lick? Psych."
Yeah, and he has that red on. He doesn't have that's true, because he don't have I'm thinking about the leather outfits.
Well, both of them.
But one is red, one is purple. Look, move your head for a second. Is
like a black and black.
Move your head. So the red was Delirious, and then that like purplish blue was Raw. Right. So let me.
That's the one he does the ice cream in, and I think he does Mama's Burger in that one too.
Mama's what?
Mama's Burger. The Mama's Burger.
Oh yeah, but I keep thinking that was Raw. I think
better than McDonald's. That one might be Raw.
That's Raw. I think that's Raw.
Yeah.
Because it's so funny because both of them made such an impression that we don't even know which one was which. We just remember the joke. It's almost like you don't remember what was said, it's how you felt. We don't remember what movie, but we know the words and how we felt. Let me see. We've been waiting for a long time. Just look at the mayhem. Let's just in case y'all don't know. This is his very first one. Listen to what they're playing.
Yeah, because that's after 48 hours, right?
Yeah. Then give it to me. I'm gonna move enough so I don't OD, but I have a good head. I wonder if people be saying that shit. I think go fast for her. They're gonna OD or some shit like that. Not me, baby. This is the play Eddie Murphy died in, right here. If I crash, this would be so great. What's his name? Larry. His name's Larry. Well, he'll be dead too because he's in the front. I'm getting on this though. In case we do go down. Larry, you incompetent fuck, you crashed while we were flying. Okay. Keep it cool and healthy. That's the key to life. That's the key to success. A healthy cooler. Prove it real cool. See, now that's the inside of my cooler. So you can party to the snow, but now but rock and roll.
I hope they don't mute themselves for the song. But you see how diverse the audience is?
Mm-hmm. But that was his crossover appeal that he had.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Murphy.
This is 83. It's 83.
Oh, the sound is gone. Can't hear.
You can hear it?
You can't hear.
You can hear it?
No.
Thank you.
Oh, there you go. Mm-hmm.
Thank you too much. Too kind. Far too kind. Before I even get started, I want to say, how about big round of applause for the bus boys? Get some rules. I got some rules when I throw down. When I do my stand-up, I got rules and shit. Straight up. Faggots aren't allowed to look at my ass while I'm on stage.
See? So let's just stop right there.
Right.
So already as soon as he comes out, so that's why he
Out
said
the gate.
he
Out the gate.
out the gate. He apologized because out the gate is 1983, right? And everybody wasn't so sensitive. It wasn't a politically correct time. So when you look back at a lot of the shows and even stand-ups, people would be protesting right now. You get what I'm saying? Even some of the shows, some of the stuff that people say, you know, or the word sissy or different stuff like that, they wouldn't dare say now. So let's talk about 83 and how things were off limits. And do you feel that now we're in a society where maybe no one can take a joke? What you think?
I agree with that. And I think that people have gotten too sensitive about jokes. I mean, and even D.L. Hughley, he said that you know, that people have, you know, comedians, you know, have had to kind of walk this, you know, really fine line nowadays because of the way that, you know, that folks are. A lot of things that Eddie Murphy said back in 83, you know, would certainly, you know, they'd be like, oh, you can't say that, you know, out here on the road. Now, it might be a different thing on the road if they are in, you know, if it's not being
No,
videoed,
but now people
you know
got phones.
But in this day and age, with yeah, exactly. That's
they've been told you and you be canceled it'll be, from the internet.
Yeah, it's out there, and especially when it comes to, you know, it comes to certain communities or cultures and stuff like that, where they don't want you saying anything about them. you say one thing and they come after you. You know what I mean? And I don't think that that's right. Like D.L. Hughley said, these are jokes. You know, this isn't something. This isn't, and especially with Eddie Murphy. I mean, out the gate saying that. You know, and people, we see it and we know that he's joking about it, and it's something that you laugh at because it is what it is. You know,
And
I mean, let's just
no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go finish.
No, I mean, I'm just going to say that, you know, that we can't even in this day and time, we can't even go out and just enjoy being, you know, laughter, you know, having joking about certain things. I mean, it's, you know, he wasn't being malicious about it. He wasn't being, you know, trying to tear them down or anything like that. But I think people have taken it so far these days where every little thing, you know, is you know, you're this, you're that, you can't speak of, you know, you can't speak about, you know, this, that, and the other. And this, you know, I just think that people take it they've taken it way too far these days.
But you know what's funny? That back then, gay people were laughing.
Right.
They weren't even offended. They weren't even offended. So now you have people who are pro everything. They're the ones offended. The people that the quote unquote word was said about, they ain't even offended. They're laughing and joking and clapping.
They sitting there laughing too.
Right. They laughing and joking, you know, but then you have some now even laughing and joking. Other people are fighting for their rights and they like, chill. We ain't even offended. But I think everybody is so easily offended. Yeah. And I heard someone say that we raising punks now. Like people can't take a joke.
But that's true.
Like we raising, you know, true. And even somebody might say, don't say punk. That means, you get what I'm saying? So it's anything you say. But what I find interesting is people want to say, don't say this and don't say that, or don't bully this person, but they will be quick to bully somebody who doesn't believe the same thing they believe. So what they're complaining about and saying, don't bully us, whatever that us is. And then if somebody doesn't agree with it, then they bully them. So which one is like right or wrong?
Yeah, I've said that you can't, you know,
you can't have your own opinion these days.
Right. My thing is you're not going to force me to agree with you about something that I don't agree with. If I don't agree with it, I don't agree with it. I'm entitled to my opinion, just like you're entitled to your opinion.
But in this world, you're not. If it's not agreeable with the masses, then they're going to come at you. And that's wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Absolutely.
So it is ice cream, is in Delirious, because they both run together to me sometimes, because I just laugh like that's Eddie Murphy. So everybody, so I'm thinking about 1983, right? I was in the 8th grade, somewhere around the 7th or 8th. I was in junior high school. And I remember in junior high school, we were like, I got something, you know how he was saying it, I got some ice. You
can't say that without doing the action.
Some ice cream, want to lick. And then he does it. So we're going to show it. Like everybody was talking about that. And I remember in junior high, I don't think I saw Raw movies, which we'll talk about, because I was in high school, but I don't think I saw Delirious in the movies, but I've seen it a million times when I was young. So I'm trying to think, maybe when it came to HBO, and back in then we used to say HBO was human. We used to say human body odor, HBO. Did y'all say that? Did y'all say in Jersey? I grew up in Jersey. In Jersey, you'd be like, you got HBO. Like they would ask, you got HBO? And you'd be like, yeah. Oh, you got human body odor. And then people used to get real mad. Because it's like that little joke. You got HBO? You're like, yeah, I got HBO. You got human body odor. I just think about that, the little things in school, and you'd be cracking up and then get all offended because they didn't say you got human body odor. Well, you said you had HBO. So let's play that.
throwing change, saying, "Where's your father toasted almond bar? And get your brother ice it, and get yourself vanilla cone, and bring back my change." And you catch all that shit and run down the street, top speed, chasing the ice cream truck. Ice cream! Ice cream man always drove extra block though. And I know he's seen us and shit.
You always gotta run. That is
I
true though.
think he just be in the car with his friends saying, "Watch me how fast I make these motherfuckers run." You be behind him doing 50 run. Ice cream! He stopped, you be all went out of Winston. Ice cream man, can I have this? I want this over here, and a toast on by my father, and give me this ice over here, and vanilla cone. Thank you, ice cream man. Thank you, ice cream man. Thank you, and you get your ice cream. I get my ice cream. I get my ice cream. I didn't eat it. I sang for a little while.
I love this. Yeah, strawberry eclair and the chocolate eclair.
Mm-hmm.
I have some ice cream. I have some ice cream. I have some ice cream. And I'm gonna eat it all. I'm gonna eat it all.
There you go.
The ice cream be running all down your arm and shit. Yeah.
Ice cream. I'm gonna eat up my ice cream. Ice cream.
No one be one kid on the side, they get no ice cream, the kids don't care. They go,
You don't have no eyes. You didn't get none. You didn't get none. You didn't get none. You didn't get none. Cause you are on the welfare.
Go welfare.
You cannot afford it. You cannot afford it.
But check out how his shirt is
You
zipped
can't
down.
afford it. You can't afford it. And his father is the alcoholic.
That's so mean.
You want to eat some of my ice cream, but wanna lick? You want some ice cream? I'm going to eat all of my ice cream. You cannot have them. You can't.
That's what you get, Lord.
You dropped your eyes.
No.
eat it. I can drop my ice cream in a pile of shit. Just sprinkles, like sprinkles.
So let's talk about that. So how many things when you were young did you kiss up the guy? Because that was a way when you wanted your candy and it fell on the ground, you kiss it up the guy. But then we had a rule too. I forgot, was it 10-second rule or 5 second?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
10-second rule. Absolutely. There it was. Kiss it up to God and keep it moving.
Because when you want that candy and that's your last piece of candy, you gonna eat it off the floor, off the ground. You 5-second rule and kiss it up to God. Shoot, we need to really start kissing a lot of stuff up to God now.
Absolutely. But
so
it's just,
when I think
he would the thing that I loved about Delirious Raw, it was the things that he joked about and he talked about in both of these stand-ups you could relate to. It was things that we had experienced. Like you just said, like you said about the ice cream man. Most of us remember chasing the ice cream man.
Yeah, it never stopped in front of you. It never stopped unless it had to be a gang of kids outside to stop in front of you. But typically you heard it and it had to go past you because you had to come down the stairs or run out the house or get the money first, then get it. So you would never be standing outside playing with some money. So you always had to go back in the house to get some money. And then by the time you got some money, he's slowly going down the street. So then you gotta chase him. Because no kids are playing outside with no money, and there were no debit cards and all that stuff then.
Ice cream man nowadays. Yeah.
Right. They be around now. Now the stuff be like $4. How you got a strawberry shortcake or chocolate eclair for $4?
I know, right?
$5. I used to get that bomb pop too. Did you get that? That bomb pop?
No, I didn't really like I like the
and with
I used to get the push up,
the sherbet with the gumball at the bottom. That with the gumball at the bottom.
I would get that one. Yeah. I would get that or the and the chocolate eclair. Those are my two favorites that I used to eat.
I would get the strawberry shortcake the sherbet to push up with the gumball at the bottom, and I would get the bomb pop. And if they had some sunflower seeds, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know no ice cream truck that didn't have sunflower seeds. You know what I'm saying?
Sunflower, they had some sunflower seeds on there. You know, some of them get real fancy and they got other stuff. So which clip should I?
They always had this.
The lemon heads, the Boston baked beans.
Had to have the now later. They always had the now later.
Definitely. Yeah. What was your favorite flavor?
For now later is the apple. I love apple. And see, I'm that little boy, and so nobody probably remembers this, but I used to love the apple slice soda. I don't know if you all used to have that, the apple slice soda.
Why does that sound familiar?
The drink, but Slice had different flavors of drinks. I remember the Slice.
Yeah, I do. I ain't heard about Slice ever.
And I know, right? That's your how old I
am. Wow,
I could on my way to school, on my way to high school, there used to be this corner store that me and my buddy, the last bus that we would catch. We would wait for it right at this corner store. And I would go in and get my apple slice drink and get me a honey bun. That was my breakfast in the morning.
Bun. Yes.
You talking about somebody that was zooted going to the sugared up. Honey bun and apple slice. And I was not sharing it with nobody.
And you probably was on 10. You probably was on 20 with all that sugar. When you think about it, wasn't nobody nobody was reading the back of no labels, wondering how much the sugar content. That's all you had all day. If you went to corner stores and you got penny candy and sodas and popsicles, and you had straight sugar rush all day. It's a wonder that none of us had diabetes. You know, all our teeth ain't fall out because them now ladies will take your teeth out. And I used to like it when they were soft and they chew it and all that.
Okay. Did you used to heat them up? Did you? Because
no, in the summertime they just be soft. You heated them up?
Right. Well, yeah, I remember heating them up. Some, very few times, but I do remember heating them up. Yeah, and melting them down.
Because when they were hard, Remember they used to chip away at them. They used to chip a little bit when they were hard.
Right.
All right, so do you remember the cookout joke, or do you remember the Stevie Wonder and Elvis joke, or should I play Uncle Gus and Aunt Bunny?
No, do the Uncle Gus and Aunt Bunny.
Uh-oh. You remember that? Aunt Bunny and Uncle Gus, hold up. We're gonna play that. And if you're watching, do you remember?
What's today's date?
I need to play a little bit at a time.
I got a little bit more summer and shit. Don't go to cookouts. I hate cookouts, man. Stay away from cookouts. Like me, stay the fuck away from cookouts. I don't like my family come by the house. The relatives I ain't seen since the last cookout. You got certain relatives you just see at the cookout, and they get on your fucking nerves every year. Uncle Gus come by the house every year. Uncle Gus is the uncle that like to work the grill and don't let nobody touch the grill when he's around and shit. As soon as you walk in the house, he's like, get away from that grill. You don't have to start no fire. You don't have to start no fire. Put this fire out. There ain't no fire, goddamn it. Eddie, go over and give me all that wood. Need half a tree. Chop that tree out over there. Chop down that tree and give me the wood from that tree over there.
That's a fire.
Right, man, that's a fire. Oh, Lord, that's a fire.
Come on, you want to eat?
How many times?
Okay, put that wood out there. Okay, give me the gasoline, child.
Oh, Lord,
I tell you, child, go to Max on the gasoline, all right? Well, I tell you, right? We're gonna make a fire. We're gonna eat it, right? You don't want to eat? We're gonna eat now. Here we go. Pour the gasoline over here like this. We need the whole. Get that goddamn latitude out there. That can't use it. We're gonna put the gasoline on this wood and make a fire. We're gonna eat a hamburger, okay? Here we go. China, throw the match. That's a fire.
That's a fire.
Gasoline.
How many times have you said that? I still say that to this day.
Uncle Gus is married to my Aunt Bunny.
My Aunt Bunny got a mustache and shit. One of them lady mustaches. It was real cool back when she was 20. She had thin ones and shit. When they get about 45, like Aunt Bunny, they be having the Billy D. Williams look.
Aunt Bunny got the Billy D.
Williams. Aunt Bunny weighed like 300 pounds, like 250, real heavy lady and shit. The kids was scared of her. You got that kid logic going. I remember my Aunt Bunny come by the house and shit. It was like, I was petrified because she always wanted to kiss me or touch me and some shit. As soon as she walk in the door, it's like, come give your Aunt Bunny a kiss, baby. And you go, your mom say, why would you want to kiss your Aunt Bunny? They don't give a fuck. They go, she got a mustache. Why do kids move so slow when they be grabbing? Stop making all that noise. Shut up. You be mad because your mother hits you, be standing there wishing hateful shit on your mother. Ever do that? Be in the bedroom going, God, please kill her.
And DL did a similar joke to this before.
I get hit by a truck and die.
Right.
Shut up, I'll come in and give you something to cry about.
Now, like you said, that it's so funny because we can relate to all of that. Let's talk about it's a fire. I still say that to this day when a fire goes up. People still say that. Even though it was something simple within that joke, certain things just stuck out. It just stuck out when it comes to just the funny, like you don't ever know when you're listening to a joke or listening to watching something like Delirious, what will stick out in your mind. Right. And do you still say that to this day? I do.
Yeah, I still say that. Yeah, that's a vibe. That's a vibe.
That's a vibe. I say it so much, but it's so funny because I was thinking about this lady. Now I don't want to talk about her because a Twitter thread was going on in this area, in the Baltimore area, about this one lady, and I'm not going to say where it is, works at a certain place, and she's been working there for years, and everybody knows her, and she has a mustache. And everybody knows her to the point where my daughter showed me a Twitter thread, and everybody was like, yeah, she's this, she's this. Everybody knew who she was. That's how long she's been working there. And everybody knew her when they said the lady with the mustache. Ain't that crazy?
Wow.
I'll tell you where it is because I don't want to put her out.
Hilarious.
Right. And
that's
people,
hilarious.
But she does, and my daughter was like, look, Mom, because everybody knows who she is. And they were like, look, and the Twitter feed was talking about, yeah, I know the lady, she works at such, oh, yeah, she been there for years. It was a whole feed about this lady.
Wow.
So she was an Aunt Bunny. She could be Aunt Bunny, but it's so funny when you do that. When he was doing that, how many times you done that? And a black parent said, "I'm gonna give you something to cry about," so then you try to suck all the tears.
Try to keep it, hold it in.
You try to suck all your tears in. So when you think about, so get ready to switch to Raw. So when you think about Delirious, right? And I remember Eddie Murphy saying that he was patterning, I don't want to say mocking, but he patterned his comedy and the leather from Richard Pryor. And when we think about Raw, and we think about Delirious, I remember with Raw, he was like, this is what later Eddie Murphy said, with, the older, he was like, why did somebody not tell me about these gloves, these cutout gloves? Like, who did I think I was? Like, he was joking himself so hard about those open hand gloves.
But see, here's the funny thing. Even if somebody had told him about it, he probably had a wardrobe, consultant. Even if somebody had told him not to wear it, he like, I'm Eddie Murphy, I can wear what I want to wear. He
probably thought he was fresh to death.
Say it again.
He probably thought he was fresh to death.
Oh, absolutely. You couldn't tell Eddie Murphy nothing in them leather suits. Come on now.
At least it wasn't super tight.
was he in his 30s in those two?
83, let's see.
Because I'm thinking he was in his maybe early 30s or so. I don't think he was still in his 20s.
Let me see.
Because he was born in what?
So he was born in 61.
So he
was in his 20s.
Okay.
Because 61, this came out in 83.
83. So yeah, he was maybe 22.
22 years old.
20, yeah, between 22 and 24.
But people just look old back then. But people look, because that didn't look like no 22-year-old. People look older.
That's why I said he looked, because that's why I was saying he looked like he
because
was
he had dad hair. Look, he had dad hair. It would be dad hair now, but it was the bomb in the 80s.
Right.
Think about it.
Exactly.
Think about that.
Okay.
All right. So now we're switching gears to when I'm in high school. I left junior high in Delirious, moved on over to high school, and saw this movie, which came out December 18th, 1987. I think I was in the 10th grade, and definitely saw this at the movie. Definitely thought I was watching something cutting edge and like, yes, Eddie Murphy. I already told y'all in earlier episodes that, we stayed up late when Eddie Murphy was 19 when he premiered on Saturday Night Live. And we watched that sucker, my cousins and I, Jiffy popcorn, standing on the stove. So we were Eddie Murphy fans. I don't think anybody in our generation, Leroy, was not an Eddie Murphy fan.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
Eddie Murphy was the GOAT.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Raw. So he does Delirious. So let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7. So by this time, 23 to 4 to 5, like 26, he was it was still making like $50 million in the box office. He's 26 years old. You talking about Mr. Box Office? They were giving him these multi-million dollar budgets in the 80s to a Black young comic. So when Kevin Hart think he the bomb, and all of these young comedians think that they the bomb, and because they selling out arenas and they doing this and doing that, Eddie Murphy.
Nah, bro.
Right.
Exactly. Nah, bro.
Right. Because I see sometimes Kevin Hart getting big-headed, like once he was on something like, I sell out arenas. Yeah, I did big-headed. I'm like, bruh, you ain't the first that did it. Don't get it twisted. Eddie Murphy been doing this.
Don't act like you just did it, okay? You know what I'm saying?
And guess what? Absolutely. Eddie Murphy might have walked around cocky, but I don't remember Eddie Murphy like, I don't remember him acting cocky. I remember him being humble and even laughing at himself.
And check this out.
Not to say he might not have been cocky, but I don't remember that.
This is way before social media. So you actually had to go and see them. You had to wait till they came to your city, or you went and drove to where they might be performing. But wasn't no social media out back then. Nothing. This was straight going to a concert. Folks piling into their cars going to see Eddie Murphy. You know what I'm saying? So these modern day comedians can miss me with all of that. No.
I remember Eddie Murphy as he got older. I remember him reflecting on Raw. And I'm gonna see if I can find that. And I remember him saying them negotiating with him on what they were going to keep and what they were going to take. Because just like Delirious, the film originally was rated X by MPAA. It was re-edited many times so the MPAA would give it a R rating. Right. So I remember what Eddie Murphy was saying that they were negotiating F words. They were like, okay, if I have this, can I keep it here? Can I keep, like they were negotiating the words so they could get the R rating. Because if it was rated X, then us high schoolers wouldn't have saw it. And then it might not have been in the movies. Absolutely. So they had to bargain some of the cuss words to get it in there. But speaking of the other comics, and let's be clear, plenty of comedians claim that this movie inspired them to go into stand-up, such as Chris Tucker, Kevin Hart, and Gabriel Iglesias. And then also the F-bomb in this movie surpassed 1983's Scarface in a feature-length film using 223 uses, while it eventually surpassed Goodfellas in 1990. It still holds the record for movies released in the 80s, the most F-bombs in all of the 80s. This movie held the title. Now, what some may not know, the most successful stand-up concert film until the original Kings of Comedy. So this was the most successful, and then the Kings of Comedy beat it in 2000. Now, this is the thing. Eddie Murphy had the record by himself for all of them years. Now the Kings of Comedy, which we love, they needed 4 men to surpass 1 man. How about that?
That tells you who Mr. Eddie Murphy was.
Right. Now, this is the all-time best box office concert movie. The most, and I'm going to show the beginning, but this was Tatiana Ali's film debut. Now you remember Bud from Cosby Show, Dion, and Tatiana. This was her very first movie role. Now, what people don't know is Kim Wayans is one of the people who interviewed him in the intro.
Really? Okay.
Back then. So now, one of my favorites, Eddie Murphy mentions going to Africa, named Zimfufu, riding butt naked on a horse to find his wife. And coming to America in 1988, he does the opposite. His character leaves Africa to come to America to find a wife. So it kind of reversed in this movie. So I'm going to show the beginning of the movie right now. We see Bud from the Cosby Show.
Yeah, I remember how that started. Oh, Jesus.
There's so many.
Now it wants to come on. Come on.
Anytime that I'm outdoors, I feel.
And he talked about Mr. T and Michael Jackson. Remember that? $1968 Thanksgiving.
I done told you to stop running in here. I'm gonna spank with you now. Yeah, that's supposed to be not it.
That's Kenni-Len right there.
See that chocolate cake I bought? You mean the chocolate cake that was on the counter over there? Yeah, what is it? Well, check Cosby's pockets. He probably got it in there with the turkey leg and the sweet potato pie, too.
How many black households look like this where the kid is performing? Look at Tatiana Ali right there. Yeah. No, I don't think so.
That's not him. That's not him in that white hat.
It looks like him, but I don't think so.
That must not be him.
Vanessa, come on, Vanessa.
That's Tatiana Ali.
Yeah.
So cute.
Why do fools fall in love? Why do birds sing so gay?
That's on Bunny's site. That is Sam Jackson. Yep, it is Sam Jackson. It looks like him, but just on the side it don't look like him, but it is definitely. Yeah, I haven't seen this for so long.
Mom, I got a joke.
Uh-oh.
Yo, Eddie got a joke to tell. Go ahead.
I got a joke to tell. Once there was a lion and a monkey. The monkey said, I can make the weather change. The lion said, no, you can't. So the monkey started climbing up the tree. And then he started peeing on the lion's head. Now it's raining. Then he started farting.
For his corduroys. How many corduroys did you have?
I know, right?
Now there's thunder.
I'd be like, Mom, you give me corduroys and it's the beginning of the school. It's still hot.
Yep.
Everybody looking at him.
Now it's snowing. So the lion said, oh yeah, well I can make the stars come out. And then he kicked them in the
Look.
Everybody is like, what the world?
I forgot. That did know that was serious.
That boy's got talent.
How many times people said that? That boy
know,
got
right?
talent.
Mother.
Look at Bud.
Oh,
Look at Bud.
wow.
So let me just do, let's see. Do I want to do Mr. T and Michael Jackson? That's a funny one.
Nah, you gotta do the Michael Jackson. You gotta
Alright,
do
that-
the Michael Jackson. That's
People
hilarious.
would be so offended right now.
He said, Michael Jackson looking for me.
I think, did Michael Jackson say something? I gotta find this interview to see if it's on from years ago. Look. But the thing is, the scarf, you can't tell him. He's like, yeah, I had my first one, I killed it.
I
And
know,
now
right?
I got this. I'm stepping up my leather game. I got the scarf around my neck. I got the cutout glove. You couldn't tell me nothing. Look, he think he's flying in. Look, the board of hell. Came in the board of hell.
Thank you. Sit down. Everybody sit. Get cool out. Thank you.
The seat got even a
Hello,
little
New York
tighter.
City.
I know, right?
Thank you for coming out to the show. Don't let the lights and cameras throw y'all. We filming a movie here tonight, and y'all gonna be in the shit. Only I'm getting tased for the motherfucker. Every now and then I take a joke too far and get in trouble. That's why I haven't been on the road the last 3 years, because I did a lot of. Did y'all see Delirious? In Delirious, I was making fun of a lot of entertainers too. That's when I got Mr. T, and Mr. T was gonna fuck it up. I was scared because y'all see Mr. T. He don't look like, like he can't fight. He looks like he can whip some ass, right? And I was petrified. I was walking parties. People say, yo, man, Mr. T was just here looking for you. He was walking up, people saying, I'm gonna whip it every day when I see him. Then I watched the show because I didn't know him. I watched the show to see what kind of guy he was, and the character on the show ain't too bright. So I figured if he came up to me, I could use the Jedi mind trick on him. And Mr. T walk up and go, I heard you did some joke about me. No, you didn't. Maybe I didn't. I'm gonna go beat up the fool that told me them lies. I was scared. I'd be at parties. He was looking for me. I would just leave because I don't want to fight Mr. T. Then I found out Michael Jackson was looking for me, and I was like, "Yo, when I found my manager called me up and said, "Yo, man, Michael Jackson is mad." I was like, "So?" Because I fucked Mike up. Mike don't weigh but $105. I bust that ass on Mike. I was looking for Mike, but my manager said, we don't know everything about Michael Jackson. He might be this bad motherfucker behind closed doors. He's a recluse, behind closed doors. He might be completely different. And I'd be at a party and have Michael walk up to me one day and be like,
Funny.
Hilarious.
This is funny. How many times did we went back to school talking about this?
What's your motherfucking problem, man? Well, how come you keep fucking with me then, huh? What's all the motherfucking joke? You don't like my clothes? Motherfucker, what's your motherfucking problem?
It sound like Rasputia.
What's your ass?
It sound like Rasputia, don't it?
Yeah, it does.
Walk all up and down your ass. You mind your motherfucking business. I hear some more shit. I'm gonna put this glove up your ass. I'll see you later.
He gonna moonwalk back. But think about, didn't he sound like Rasputia?
Yeah, that did sound
That's
like
so funny that, but it's like, that's the creative side. So who knows? Like, I wonder if he knows that he sounds like Rasputia.
Rasputia in that. Yeah, if you use that voice to give for Rasputia.
Right. Did he dig deep to use that voice.
Right.
Hey, Macy. Look, she finished Bible study and came on over.
Oh, okay.
Came on over to the MT Jam. Let me see if we have any more comments on here. Welcome.
You got the
But
one he
it's so
does.
funny. Huh?
Do they have the one with him when he said he was talking to Richard Pryor and talking about Bill Cosby?
Oh, that was funny. That was funny. And then we gotta see Mfufu. We gotta see.
Oh yeah, you definitely got to do that one. Eddie, I want to talk to you.
Let's see. Eddie, I want to talk to you. And the sandwich and talking about Lillian cannot come to the phone. Remember? And since you think you're smart. Remember? Since you think you're smart. It's like that's when you know it's a classic, right? When we can talk about 30-something years later, we know line for line, we know joke for joke. I ain't seen these movies in years. And I just remember so many lines. It made it. This is like pop culture. It really is. It made an impact forever that we say these lines over and over and over and over again.
And here's the crazy thing. I don't think there's another stand-up that I've seen that I could repeat word for word, and I would know the whole dialogue. Right. Of the I can't think of another stand-up comedy show like this that they've done that I can, that I can recite and know what they talked about from the beginning to the end. I really can't. Right. Me either. But I can't think of no Kevin Hart or nothing of like. I'm talking Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle.
We might know a line, but we can't recite line after line after line. We might know the one that's been played over and over again. Even when I think the one that might be the closest for me is the Kings of Comedy. That was probably the closest that I could come to this. Where I know the jokes that they have in there. All right, so Kings of Comedy, whose part was funniest? Let's just it's the anchor man, Bernie himself. That's why he was the anchor. Can I have some milk and hug? And that had to be hilarious. Making cook, and then he gonna come down the stairs. It's how he tells it. He gonna come down the stairs. How he be saying it. Can I have some milk and cook? And he said, "With his, you know what Eddie Murphy said in the Delirious one in the beginning." What was funny about that? He said, I had to ask him again because I wanted to hear him say it again. That was funny. He was. I love D.L. Hughley is one of my favorites, but on that Cedric and the Mac Man. I'm sorry. I've never been a Steve Harvey. Me either. I never thought he was funny from the beginning. Even when he came out with that Mitch Green joke on Apollo, that's when I first saw him back in the day. I was like, he's not even funny. Yeah, he's not that. I always thought he was good at the TV show, at the comedy shows that he did, like the Steve Harvey show. Yeah, I thought he was great in that kind of role. Yeah, doing that. But the stand up, I agree. I agree. I was like, nah. I agree. He's not funny. No, and I remember when I first saw him, it was on Apollo, and it was when Mitch Green and Mike Tyson had that fight, and he came in talking about the I was talking. That was like the first joke in the first, and I was like, "Who is this?" Did he ever do? Did he do Def Comedy Jam? I think he did. Yeah, he did. He had that sweater on. I think he had like a sweater on. Okay, I remember that. Okay. Yeah, he did that. All right, so it's so many jokes, but you said the Richard Pryor one, so I'm gonna play this one real quick, and I gotta play in Fufu. I gotta play Lily. It's too many. I know.
Everything like Richard Pryor. My mother would sit there and watch her little 15. I want to be Richard so bad. I used to go out on stage when I was 15 and talk and act and walk and everything like Richard Pryor. My mother would sit there and watch her little 15-year-old son on stage saying some outlandish shit. My whole act back then was about taking the shit because that's all I had done at 15. That was my life experience, but it sounded like Richard Pryor jokes. I'd be going, you ever like sometime, right? You get on that toilet and when you shit, that water splash up on your ass. Don't that make you mad, right? You know what really make you mad is when shit come halfway out your ass and go back up in that motherfucker. Right? Why do shit be teasing your ass, right? Just get the fuck out, right? You know what really bothers me is when you be
for a long time, right? And one little pebble shit come out. Be some shit this big, right? Well, push your head up your asshole and say, that's all the shit I'm gonna get, motherfucker. You know what really make it mad when your ass don't cooperate with you and clench up and break the shit in half. You be mad as a motherfucker too, because you know you got to wipe your ass for like 5 hours and shit, right?
But people
You
sleep
12
on.
rolls of toilet paper on that motherfucker. You know what really make me mad though is afterwards, right? It's
Let me do the bill copy. But you know what's funny is that people don't talk about how he can impersonate so well. Like Eddie Murphy does some impersonations in different voices that like we see now later people are seeing in the different movies, but he started doing that kind of stuff in his stand-up. So, you know, people now remember Coming to America and the Clumps and all of that. And even the one where he was fat. What was the one with the fat suit? With Jada.
That was the Nutty Professor.
Yeah, Nutty Professor. Exactly. And it's so fun. Oh, basically some pictures of us again. So let me do Bill Cosby because we coming to it. Let's see.
I love Bill Cosby show. I've been a big fan of Bill Cosby all my life. Never met the man before, but he called me up about a year ago and chastised me on being too dirty on stage. And it was real weird because I had never met him, and he just thought you should call me up. He was Bill and tell me that he did about what comedy is all about. And I sat and listened to this man chastise me. And when Bill Cosby chastised you, you forget you're grown. You feel like one of the Cosby kids and shit. And I ran in the house all excited to talk to Bill and picked up the telephone, and Bill got raw on me. I was like, hello, Mr. Cosby. I would like to talk to you about some of the things that you do in your show.
It's still funny 50 years later. No,
I know, isn't it? It really is.
I want to tell you a story. You always tell the stories. I would like to tell you a story. I have 5 children.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I ain't seen this in years, and I remember.
I lived in Massachusetts with my wife,
Camille.
and my 5 children. Now, of the 5 children that we have, there are 4 girls and a boy. The boy's name is Ennis. He loves everything you do. Comes home from school the other day with a big smile on his face. And my son looks just like me. He walks through the door looking at me with this big smile. And I cannot resist. He got such a beautiful smile. He walks up and I say, what are you smiling about? And the child says to me, I'm smiling because I need money to go see the Eddie Murphy show. Please give me money for a ticket. Now, if the child is smiling this way because he needs money for a ticket, I have to give him money for a ticket. I do not handle the money in the house. My wife, Camille, handles the ticket money. So I must go into the kitchen to where my wife is cooking dinner for the family. And she is inside the kitchen cooking. And she's got a bowl and she's cooking up the food, man. She's cooking it up. And the child walks in the room with the smile. He says, Mother, please, money. She gives him money. He runs off to see your show. Now, we sit
That's a long phone call.
in the living room
I know, right?
waiting for Ennis to return. At about 5 o'clock in the morning, the child comes through the door. He has a different look on his face. It looked like he heard something at your show that he's never heard before. And I say to my child, child, I say, what did the man say on the stage? And he says, Pop, the man comes out and says these things. I said, well, what did he say? He says, Pop, he comes out and says, stop. I said, what did he do? He says, Pop, he walks out and he goes, hello, suck this and MF and kiss my big black stuff and suck it and stick it down your mouth and suck it, suck it.
And now look at Bill Cosby. He don't need to be snatching nobody up.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Dag, it's just so many. All right. So let's see. What can we do. Let me see, Lillian. I gotta see that. Lillian's rules. When she said Lillian's rules. Let's see. And then we gotta do improve. So, but when you listen to that and you listen to his, like he has people down pat. And I'm sure comedians always, when they joke somebody that they don't like it, they always come in. And I know Keenan in the crew on Living Color, they used to get calls all the time. They said, you know, Kim Wayans, when she did Oprah, and, you know, a lot of people were mad at them on Living Color because they were going there.
But see, the thing is about In Living Color, they went after everybody. It did not matter. And that's what I loved about that show, because they weren't afraid to do skits about anybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. And I know Damon got some big flack about the superhero, the handicap.
Yep. And I remember Mike Tyson when they were doing him, he said something. That ain't funny. Let's look at Lillian's rules. I remember laughing so hard in the movie theater when they did Lillian, Sister Think It's Smart, when they said Lillian's rules. Oh my God. And I remember seeing his mom or something like afterwards, and they were talking about it. But it's funny. If you in a comedian's family, you're going to talk about on stage. Bottom line.
I'm going to take the old rules off and put new rules up, because you're going to listen to me, goddamn. I tell you do something. You're going to put new rules up. You're going to put rules up. There's rules up. Rules. One, Lillian cannot use the phone. Two, Lillian.
See what's happening. Not Lillian. Come on. I didn't bring my iPad down today.
Cannot. Since you're such a smart motherfucker, you can't go outside anymore. Cannot go outside ever again. Now put the rules up, Lillian, and you abide by my rules and my regulations, goddammit. The rules say no phone and no outside. I don't give a fuck if the motherfucking house is burning down. If I come home and the fireman put the house out, I say, how you find out the house is burning? You got a call from your wife. I'll kick your motherfucking ass.
Look at his face.
This house is stank. You'll burn up in this motherfucker. No, Lily, where you going? Didn't I just say you couldn't go no place? Now, how the hell you gonna go somewhere? No, Lily, you're not going to Shirley's house. Keno. Keno. Take the coat off. No, you can't go no place because I said so. The rules say no outside. I know you want to leave. That's why you can't go. You better call and tell you not coming. You can't use my phone. I don't know. You better lift up the window and scream your motherfucking head off. You're not going. No, I don't get you. You're not going no place. You're not going no place. No, because I know you want to leave. That's why. I know you want to leave.
I refuse to let you go.
I got one of those songs that gets drunk and sings old Motown songs to you in his argument and fucks up all the lyrics and think he's saying it right. But going, I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go, Lillian.
And listen,
fuck up, think he's saying it right. If I have to beg and plead, do the symphony.
Do the symphony. I don't mind.
I don't mind, because it means there must be. Not going no place. You be right here in this motherfucker now. Watching the ships roll in.
Oh my God.
Sing in Spanish too, man.
Oh my God, this takes me back. Let me see. Oh my good. So when you think about the move, just imagine, right? Put yourself back in that place, and you being with your friends in high school, and you go to see this movie, because you already know kids think everything is funny anyway. But sometimes it doesn't translate when you become an adult. You be like, I laughed at that. Think about it. But as adults at 50 plus, we still laughing at the same thing. So it had to be funny, because some stuff I look back at that I laughed at, and I'd be like, that wasn't even funny. You know, why was I liking that or cracking up? It wasn't even funny. But this movie isn't. Did you go to the movies to see this? Do you remember?
I think I did go to the movies to see Raw. That was 87.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was that was actually my senior year, depending on what time of year, that was a senior year in high school, my freshman year at college. So yeah, I think I did go. I believe I did. Me and my buddies, we went to go see.
I was in Jersey. I don't even remember who I went to see it with.
Yeah, but it was just like you said, it was so groundbreaking because, and I'm trying to think, even before Eddie Murphy, the only other comedian that I remember seeing was Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Doing stand up like that, had a actual movie for stand up, and that was Richard Pryor. You know, I don't know if Red Fox did. I don't know if all the other comedians that were out during that time.
Because you know, Flip Wilson and all of them back then were doing that.
Yeah, but Flip Wilson never did it. I don't think he did a stand up though.
No, because he had his own show.
He had the show. Yeah, he had his own show. So yeah,
I probably went with my high school boyfriend. I think I'm trying to think. Look, I had to ask him on Facebook. Hey, did we go see? I remember, but I can't remember. If it was 87, probably so. Probably so. Or one of my girlfriends, I don't know. But I just remember being in that movies and I seen it more than once. And I remember going to school, reciting everything. Because that's the cool part. Like when you see something and all through the day, somebody walking around singing, that's what we did. Did y'all do that in high school? And
no, I mean, we would talk, you talked about it, of course, and everything like that, and lines like that, but we didn't, it wasn't a thing where we would go around.
Have a J.O.B. in the 80s.
You gotta have
some money. You can't get no pussy. Listen to the radio. That's what it's about. Listen to Madonna. I'm a material girl, and in the material world, you got no money, you can't have no pussy. Basically what it is.
This is back in 87.
J.O.B. if you want to be with me. And lyrical, ain't nothing going on but the rent. Like if you went up and said, hey, man, what's going on?
The rent.
You have a job? I would get the fuck out of my face. Gotta have some money. It says no romance without finance. And women love them songs. Janet Jackson got a hit record. What have you done for me lately? That's what people think is, what have you done for me lately? The record start off like that. I know he used to do shit for you, but what have you done for me lately? Baby, I love you. What have you done for me lately? You're the only thing on my mind. What have you done for me lately? We made good love. What have you done for me lately? Got to have some money to get the pussy in the 80s. It's fucked up. That's why I say, hey, I'm a target. If I have to get married, I have to go off to the woods of Africa and find me some crazy, naked zebra bitch.
Everybody was so offended right
She got to be butt naked on a zebra with a big bone in her nose and a big plate lip and a big fucked up afro.
You know, everybody would be offended right now. This would be so offensive right now.
I know, right?
You're like, what's wrong with an African? What's wrong with an afro? He ain't got no bone. You know, people go in.
She got to be butt naked because if she got some clothes, she gonna pocket. She gonna have to put something in the pocket. But she got to be butt naked on the zebra. And y'all think it's a joke. Y'all gonna go. I'm gonna walk up to her and say, hey, how you doing? My name, she go, I went. I said, Miss Murphy.
That's so offensive.
And I'm gonna bring her home. Y'all think it's a joke. Y'all gonna go past the newsstand one day and see me on the cover of Jet with some woman with a big bone and a plate and a big fucked up afro, butt naked. You're gonna say, hey, Eddie must be busy in Africa. Say, Murphy marries Bush bitch. I'm gonna be like,
but it's so funny because it's offensive. When I listen to that now, it is offensive because people already have this preconceived idea of what Africa looks like and what African women are, you know, and to have, you know, to how he describes it in 87, it was funny. But when you become conscious or woke or you've been to Africa or you see things differently. Even when Eddie Murphy says some of the stuff he used to say, he cringes now. So that's about evolution. That's about growth, you know, and that's about the times as well. And as we know better, we kind of do better. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I do agree with it, you know, to a certain extent. Like to nowadays, just like how we started off saying a lot of the things that he talks about in both Delirious and Raw, you know, would be considered today to be, you know, very offensive.
Yeah.
You know, but at this, like you said, I guess as you mature and you grow, and you experience life,
Yeah.
You know, those things, you know, at what was he, what did we say? He was like 20, maybe 27.
26, yeah, 26,
Yeah,
27.
26, 27.
Mhm.
Those things that we laughed at when we were, you know, 19, 20, 20, you know, 18, 19, 20, 21. It was funny because it was what we kind of, you know, us growing up and being immature, but now that
Yeah.
we are, you
Yeah.
know, in our, you know, in our 40s and
Yeah.
50s, oh,
What you say?
no, I was just saying that I think you're right. I think the time that we're in, certainly you couldn't do he couldn't do, I don't believe. I think
No.
he would be
No.
given a real hard time
Yeah.
in doing those jokes.
Because even me, I'm like, okay, what's wrong with Afro? Every African ain't got no bone, ain't no. But that was the ignorance of the time too. That
Well,
was just the ignorance and the humor of it. It was like,
well, that was
like
the
it
humor
was
of it.
exaggerated.
But yeah, I mean, he did exaggerate that, but I think his point was he had to find someone that didn't know
To make it funny.
who Eddie Murphy was that popular, and he had to go to you know, to the parts of the world where nobody would know who he was and
Yeah.
find somebody. And like you said,
Yeah.
it was a perception of what,
Yeah.
you know, what Africans looked like.
And then
Yeah.
what happened when she became Americanized? Do you remember the joke after that?
Eddie, I want to talk to you. I want a divorce. I want what's coming to me.
I want half. Then she said, I want half.
half.
And that's what happened. That's what happened. Make sure that don't happen with your woman. Make sure she don't come over here.
Oh, nah. She's I think she's far away from that. But like you said, when you and it's funny because when you think about that, because I have a client of mine, and she is from Ethiopia, and I'm sorry, Uganda. She's from Uganda, and she talks about her journey from Uganda to here, and she chronicles the differences and the culture, her culture that she had there, and then the culture that she has to get infused into here. So there is as she said, there is an Americanizing of those who migrate here.
Yes.
Because when you're moving to another country, you have to be embraced by the culture.
Yes.
You have an understanding if you're going to adapt. Just like if we were to go there, we would have to adjust to the culture over there and the things that they do and everything like that. So
and their parents hated, you know, you speak to some Africans and their parents is like, you are too Americanized. Like the ones that they bring over when they're young, and then the parents are still strong Africans. They're like, wait a minute, you don't even speak our language no more. You got, you know, you really Americanized. You ain't wearing our garb like you really are. But, you know, people still say "mfufu" now. People still recite these from 83 with Delirious and 1987 with Raw. We are still quoting these, and we were still cracking up like we had just watched it. Yes, it can be offensive to some now. Yes, it was no politically correctness back then. You know, everything was jokes. Even Eddie Murphy himself said, you know, he went places that he wouldn't go now. Obviously, he's in his 60s and he apologized for it. But at the time, it was funny. At the time, people, you know, some people were woke and some people probably maybe didn't like it even then. But the masses loved it. And it's one of the, as you saw, Raw is one of the highest selling movies ever. So Eddie Murphy, the only Eddie Murphy stand-up special, one of the few stand-up specials in general to not be released in audio or tape. This is one of them. And in the opening, Eddie Murphy's audiences, they should expect to get paid because they are seen on camera and crew. But Richard Pryor, who Eddie totes as his mentor, uses the identical joke in 1979. Like, I'm the only one that's getting paid from it. So we got to go back and look at that. And then, yeah. So I just wanted to give some trivia. Well, let me give one more. Although older television sitcoms are famous for having a laugh track, many people don't realize that movies sometimes have laugh tracks too. Concert movies like Raw have often had audience reactions sweetened to their no lulls in the jokes. And the movie seems to be faster. So I guess some of the laughter might have been enhanced because maybe you couldn't hear it. You know, the audio back then wasn't as people falling out and cracking up like they were standing up. But some of them probably had to be pronounced when they said that they're filming it because it is film. Now, if they're cracking up and the audio ain't right back then they got to add that. But this was a great show, reminiscing about Delirious and Raw. Any last words about the two movies before we conclude?
Now, this is just, it's been a great month looking back at Eddie Murphy's, movie catalog. And like I said, we didn't even touch half of the great movies that he's done and everything like that. And what better way to kind of end it with kind of like where he started. I know 48 Hours was his first movie.
Yeah.
He did out and everything like that.
And Trading Places.
These were his great, these were the only two stand he did, but they were classics. That they're even, if you watch Raw now, some of the kids today, they could, some of the stuff I think you could take from back then and apply it to today. That's how it is. So it's been great. Eddie Murphy is definitely Mr. Box Office. I don't care what they say, and everything like that. So so we'll have another star that we'll look at next month, and I believe we're gonna do a female next month. So
I don't know if we're gonna do the female, we're gonna do the documentary. We got to decide what we're going to use
which one we do.
October for. So we could definitely talk about that, and we can surprise everybody. Let me see. So do I want to give one last trivia for Eddie Murphy?
Late, right?
Chris Rock is an admirer of Murphy and considers him his role model and inspiration to become an actor and a comedian. And this goes on and on and on about how many comedians were influenced by him. Now, the funny thing, he talks about Bill Cosby, but Eddie Murphy was influenced by Bill Cosby as well. So I think that that's so funny that they look at him, but he looks at Bill Cosby, but he's nothing like it. So last one, Eddie Murphy doesn't drink alcohol, smoke cigarettes, and the only drug he has ever taken is caffeine. So everything that he's done it in the same funny mind. So I think that that's pretty dope in an industry where sex, drugs, rock and roll, everything you can get, alcohol. It's all around you, but to stay true to that, I gotta respect that. So this is the conclusion of Eddie Murphy Month on MT Jam, More Than Just a Movie, where we break down classic Black films. September was all about Mr. Box Office, Eddie Murphy. We did before, if you just tuned in, we did Boomerang, and we did Coming to America. So that was on previous shows. So please check those out. But in the month of September, we did Norbit because we wanted to switch it up to show the versatility. We did Dream Girls as he played Jimmy Got Soul. And we did Trading Places, Harlem Nights, Delirious, and Raw. Thank you so much for tuning in to More Than Just a Movie. This is my co-host, Leroy Mckenzie Jr., and he got a message for y'all. What you got to tell the people, Leroy?
Let's hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share buttons, and hit the notification bell so that you can know every time that Miss Kendell Lenice is on the air on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, and comment.
Trying to grow this page, let me tell y'all quickly, I need at least 1,000 subscribers, and I'm at 359 or something like that. because as you see, I have to go through another platform to go live on YouTube. If I have at least 1,000 subscribers, I can go live straight from YouTube. So help me grow my page. If you like the content, please comment, like, and share, like Leroy said, but most of all, subscribe and tell a friend. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to surprise you for the month of October, and we'll tell you what we're going to focus in on then. Thank you, Leroy. Later. Peace. God bless. Thank you, everybody who watched live. And if you're watching the playback, and shout out to our favorite fan, Basine. Appreciate